Wow.
Okay, so I thought I'd do a little desk reveal. So I decorated my desk with all these cards and stuff I got, and then put like a clear plastic tablecloth thing over it. But yeah, so I was going to show you off all these cards and stuff that I got. So first off, we have Empire Records here in this far corner.
Not on Rex Manning Day.
Over here, it's a movie. This was the, I guess, the DVD sheet thing, like poster thing that's on the DVDs. That was one of my favorite movies as a teenager. And then this thing is like the backdrop of some toys I got for toy customization. I can't remember what they're called. Mystic Legion. But they're like D&D like action figures. So like I got goblins and things like that. Anyway, but these guys, these cards, these ones were like, I have a bunch. There's a bunch of these type of cards. Were cards I got from a friend of mine. I used to work at this camp over the summer. I did it for like 3 years in a row. Me and my brother and some friends of ours, and we met this guy there, and we called him Uno after the card game because he always had the card game Uno. And we all had nicknames. We were camp counselors, so we all had like fun nicknames. And mine was Marvel because I was really super into comic books, and I still am, but like I was really, really into comic books there. I knew all the facts about all the characters in the Marvel universe and stuff, and DC too, but like I was mostly a Marvel guy, so they called me Marvel. And so he found these cards in a dollar store in the area that the camp was, like the town that we would go to every weekend. Um, there was a dollar store there, and he found this pack of Marvel cards, and he bought those for me. So I've had them ever since. I mean, that was like, I don't even know, like 10 years ago. Oh my gosh. We were in our like young 20s, early 20s or whatever when we were doing that. But yeah, so there's some really cool cards, different characters, different events that happen, big deal events type things. Um, anyway, and then this card, and there's a couple of these too. I got way back in the day when I was a little kid. I think my aunt Rosa gave me these cards because they were included with a bunch of comic books she gave me. I could be wrong. I might have gotten cards from somebody else, but I know my first experience with comic books was from my Aunt Rosa. She gave me like a pack of like 3 or 4 comic books, like loose comic books. And then she gave me The Death of Superman, a graphic novel. Anyway, so that was like my first real exposure to comics. I was probably like 10 or 11. And yeah, I love comics ever since. But yeah, so those are those cards. There's some more of those. Let me see real quick. I can get in here really good. So this guy, I mean, obviously this is from, was it Aliens versus Monsters or whatever, that movie? I somehow got a pack of these too. They were like Valentine's Day cards or something like that. And I don't remember who gave me those, but I got all the characters of that. And then this one, I bought some anime toy, probably a Figma or something off of eBay or something like that. And this card got sent with it. I didn't know. I guess it was just an extra inclusion with the toy. And it wasn't a DBZ toy. So, like a Dragon Ball Z toy. So, but anyway, it was cool to get it, and so I put it in here. I got a couple other ones. I think I have like a Boo one or something like that too. This is a flyer I made for the book that we have published, me and my dad. My dad wrote this story about Bobby Legree. He's the strongest man in the world. He Yeah, so we wrote a book about that. I'll probably talk about that in another video sometime. But yeah, this is like a flyer thing I made in the QR code. I'll give you this QR code if you want to see if it'll even work. You can do whatever you want with that. I think it will send you to our Amazon link to where you can buy the book. Yeah, and then this is another book. This is like a bookmark I made here for Beneath the Reading Tree. Let me see if I can get it in there. Beneath the Reading Tree is a kid's book that my dad wrote and I illustrated. So yeah, this is like a bookmark that came with it. So anyway, that was fun to draw that. This little girl here, this sweet little cupcake looking little girl, is a card that came with, I bought, so every year, not every year, it was 1 year for each of my nieces and my nephew. I did a birthday scavenger hunt thing, and I wrote this story of like they basically got transported to a fantasy world and had to rescue these people. And my youngest niece, Nova, hers was food based. So there's like Candyland. She had to rescue the people of Candyland, and this was Princess Cupcake or something like that. And she got turned into a bird, so she had to find a way to turn her back into the Cupcake Princess, so then they could go rescue the kingdom from the evil Onion King and his foul stench. But anyway, I'll probably do a video on those too if I can find the pictures or footage or anything that I did during those times. But that's a card of the character that came with that. This guy was another character that was. These are toys that she got to keep and play with. As part of her birthday present. Did I mention that it was for their birthdays? Anyway, yeah. So this is another one. They're like, I guess they're collectors, pop figures or whatever. But I thought it was really cool because this one was she had to find all the families got separated, so she had to find all the family members and put them together by how they looked, and then if she got it right, she could pass on to the next challenge or whatever. And so this one, he's the son of a duck and a rabbit. And so I thought it was cool because I found this figure and I was like, yeah, let's do that. Anyway, so there's more Marvel cards. This is a Figma character. It was like the instruction manual on how to put her together kind of thing, or change out parts. And I thought it looked really cool, so I put it there. Don't even know if that's still valid, but that's my cousin's business card for his roofing company. These are more Marvel cards, Big Bad Toy Store. I've bought a couple toys from there for customizations. We got some Magic the Gathering. We got this, in some of the videos you've seen that I've posted, I'm pretty sure I've posted some since then. This is a newspaper. It's a Japanese newspaper, and it's like underneath all the cards and stuff. But little bits of it pop up still. And it came with something I bought off of Amazon, a figure I bought off of Amazon, and I thought it was really cool because it's a legit like newspaper from Japan, and there's nothing really special about it other than the fact that it's from Japan. Like there's not anything like cool or different on it. It's just like a basic like ads and like typical Japanese or like typical news or whatever, but it's from Japan, so I thought it was really cool. Figured I'd probably never get anything like that again. So I just decided to, keep it, enshrine it on my desk, if you will. So yeah, here's some more Marvel. This is another instruction manual thing I bought. So the worst movie ever, not probably ever, because there's definitely worse movies, but Dragon Ball Z Evolution had they actually made toys for that movie, which blew my mind. But I was looking for a Piccolo-esque figure that wasn't like clearly DBZ, because DBZ has a very distinct anime style, so it's hard to use those faces in customization because they're so very clearly Dragon Ball. It's harder to make them my own characters or whatever. At least I feel that way. Not that I have anything against that design, because that's great anime design. But this is a toy. He has punching action. And he had this like zipper thing that you zip through the thing and he would punch. Um, but I basically just bought him for the head to use. I haven't used it yet, but I had an idea that I wanted to do. Because the rest of the toy, other than his arms moving, the rest of it's stiff. It's just like a stagnant figure. And it's not that I can't use those in customizations, but it's a lot harder. Mainly because I like to be able to pose the figures I make. It's not a requirement, but yeah. So yeah, there's one of the best X-Men characters ever, Nightcrawler. This guy's name is Random. I don't know a whole lot about him, but yeah, he's a Marvel character. There's the missing link guy from Monsters vs. Aliens. This is like a little map thing that came with I guess it might say with the brand Treasure X or whatever. It was like a skeleton character, and it was part of my nephew's storyline for his birthday party scavenger hunt thing. He had to fight a necromancer that was bringing like his army of the dead. So I had a bunch of like skeleton characters, and I bought one of them from this brand or whatever. He was supposed to be the Skeleton King. He was this little short, stubby guy. But I ended up not using him, I don't think, as the Skeleton King, or the Skeleton King arc was not even part of that storyline. I just pared it down to just the necromancer character, which person that he had to defeat. But he had to fight a bunch of skeleton warriors and stuff, but that was part of that. Here's more of the newspaper here. Like I said, I think it's just like basic ads and stuff. It's not anything too grandiose. I don't read Japanese, so for all I know, it's a big deal. Who knows? But yeah, that's part of that. There's Moon Knight. There's like a special silver card of Spider-Man that came with that same, like this was one of the ones I got from my aunt, like more like professional ones. This was like a Dollar Tree card or dollar store card, like the most of the Marvel cards I have on here, which is pretty good. It looks pretty good for being like $1. Yeah, this is a backdrop thing here. It's kind of lists all the, some of y'all might recognize these toys. I can't remember what the name of the brand is, and it probably says it right here on here. I'm just not seeing it. But it's like Mystic Warriors or Mystic Knights or something like that. Mystic Legion. Anyway, it's a cool toy line. They're kind of expensive and they're hard to get because they sell out really fast. Um, I'm also late to the game. Didn't know they existed until much later in their run. But I think they're still making some. But they have really cool stuff. Like there's like centaurs and like skeleton people and orcs and elves and goblins and people like this is an actual toy. This lady is an actual toy that they have with the wings and the horns and stuff, antlers. It's like cool toys, especially for customization, like the bits and pieces you can use. There's a Magic the Gathering crazy worm looking thing. Whatever that's called. What is that called? Spined worm. It's just a cool, like, we got Magic the Gathering cards when we were like kids because my older brother was super into that kind of stuff. He was super into D&D and Magic the Gathering, and me and my other brother just weren't really into it. I don't know that it wasn't we weren't into it because I love the artwork and we love fantasy stuff. But as far as the games go, like it was way over my head. I couldn't like I didn't start playing D&D till I was like in my mid 20s, and even today I still don't grasp all the concepts of it. Like I'm not smart, but it's fun to play, and you don't have to be smart to play D&D. Especially when you have a brother, an older brother, who's a DM, who's an amazing DM, and pretty much helps you every time you struggle with it. But yeah, so there's some more Marvel cards, some events. Yeah, this is the alien bad guy from Monsters vs. Aliens. Juggernaut from Marvel. Ginormica. And this Magic the Gathering creature. Some more Marvel. This is the Brood. It's basically xenomorphs in the Marvel universe. Another, I don't know if you can see it that well, but there's a shiny, it looks like it's Hobgoblin or Green Goblin versus Iron Spider-Man. Yeah, there's an. I just thought this was funny. I thought about cutting this out and using it as a portrait, like getting a little frame or something and using it as a portrait in a stop motion video or like just a display because it's just so like it's good art. It is. I just think it's hilarious that he's just sitting there thinking. It's like a yeah, it's like a portrait of like a rich elf dude. I think it's cool. Um, it's very random. There's like a weird staff thing. I'm pretty sure that's Magic the Gathering also. More Marvel events. This is a business card thing that my brother Mike, we used to go downtown here in the city that we live in, and we would sing music, Christian music, as a ministry and stuff. So we would just go down and sing. We wouldn't like ask for money or anything. But sometimes people would give us money and we give that money to like we assigned a certain charity or something like that every month that my brother would any money we got, which was very little, we would send it to those charities because like any amount of money is good for charities and stuff. It doesn't have to be a lot, but um, yeah, that was really fun. That was like several years of our life doing that, especially my brother. Like I didn't go. It was like every weekend. It was like every Saturday or something like that. And I didn't go every time, but my brother went every week for years. And we kind of amassed a big group of people that would come down there with us and sing, and then we would talk to people if they wanted to talk to us. We didn't like hassle people or anything. Because there's people who go down there and they preach, and I don't necessarily think what they're preaching is necessarily wrong, but I don't like the approach of screaming at someone that they're a sinner and they're going to hell and they need Jesus in that way. Whether it's true or not, it's not an effective way to lead people to Christ. So we try to show love and stuff, and then when people wanted to talk to us, we would talk to them. A lot of times people are just like, "Hey, why are y'all down here? What are y'all doing?" And we would tell them, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And they some would stay, some would just be like, oh, "Okay, well, all right, bye." Um, but there was an atheist group that went down there too every month, and they were opposing the other Christian group that was like screaming at people and calling people names. I don't think that was good. There was actually a church group that went down there and would be like screaming at people about how terrible they were, and it was like that's not effective in any shape, form, or fashion. But this atheist group was there. They had flyers for it was like a flying meatball monster, spaghetti meatball monster thing. So their whole premise was that if you can believe in God, you can believe in anything because yeah, they didn't believe in God. But we had a lot of really interesting conversations with them, and they were peaceful, calm conversations. I think they even because we would sing for like about 2 or 3 hours or until it started dying down, and then we would go and we would eat somewhere at one of the restaurants down there, and it was usually this pizza place we would go to. And these guys actually went to that pizza place too, and we ended up sitting and having a long conversation with them. And it was a peaceful, like, educated, like, good conversation where we weren't like fighting with each other. We didn't agree with each other on everything, but it just kind of goes to show that you don't have to agree to have a civil conversation. Anyway, good things came from this, but we called it Move This City. That was the name of the charity thing, whatever it was. And I think it was based off of a song by this group called The Wedding, and it's a Christian band. They're really good. I believe that's what my brother based it off of, a lyric or a song title or something from that. Okay, and then there's this game called Story Wars that I got for my brother and his family because they're really into card games and family games and stuff. And it's like a storytelling game. Um, and so there was a cards that you can write your own cards and stuff. So that's what one of these was. So I liked the logo, so I put it on there. There's Boo. He came with that other Dragon Ball card. And oh, there's another card from Move This City. Okay, and I think that's just about it. This is a Gundam model thing. It was just the head. I got it to make so in one of my art videos there's a character I drew is like the alien market I think is what I named the video. Um, so the one selling like the weird fruit in that video, um, he has one arm and a big head and one arm or whatever. If you've seen it, you know. Um, I wanted to make a toy custom of that, and this is Zaku, I think is what these are called. Is the bad guy Gundams from Gundam Wing or Gundam Mobile Suit Gundam. Um, and it's just a head model. And I bought it to make that guy, but it ended up being a lot bigger than I thought it was. So I did use it to make another character of the same race. So they're called the Turlish. I don't even know if I said that in the video or not, but yeah, they're called the Turlish. And I ended up making a bounty hunter assassin character using this head and like parts of this. Um, but anyway, yeah, because I think when I drew the original one, Turlish Bon, his name is Bon, uh, in the Alien Market video, I had used Gundam or maybe the Zaku design as a reference or like a inspiration. So I was like, why not use the actual toy in a customization to make another one of these characters? Anyway, I don't think it looks anything like the original Zaku when I got done with it, but that's the fun thing about customizations, toy customs. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's more Zaku. This is a Predator, Alien versus Predator card. I showed the back of it because I thought it was cooler than the actual card. The actual card was almost like if I remember correctly, like on the other side of it is like a CG xenomorph or something, and it just didn't look good to me. It wasn't like from the movie. It was like from a video game style, like really crappy video game style. Yeah, and there's more. This one I got from Renfest. I went to Ren Fair for the first time last year, and there was a hat store that had some really cool hats. I just didn't have enough money at the time, and she gave me her card. So go hit her up. She like made custom hats, and they were like era appropriate, but also there was a lot of fantasy stuff or video game, anime, um, character stuff that was like really cool. Um, but yeah, oh yeah, this one. So this one is of Wiley, my dog Wiley. Let's see. And a friend of mine, Shannon, took this picture while she was down visiting with her parents and stuff. We're like a longtime family friends. And she came, she took this picture and then she sent us cards. She made custom cards with his picture on the back as the like back of the card. So I put one of them in here. I think this was like a loose, like an extra one that just like had an advertisement on the other side. So I put it here. He's really cute. He's a cutie. And then Escape from New York, which is a great movie. So I made a clock for a competition thing, an art competition at it was like a Christian thing in high school. And it was like I did the whole verse about there's a time for everything Bible verse, and this is a time for love. There's a time for love, a time for war or something like that. But this is Jesus, obviously Jesus with a hole in his hand, is love. But I have bits and pieces of it. The clock fell apart since then, but I drew these little pictures and each had them all over the place where it was different times. Anyway, I might have a picture of it somewhere I can show you. But yeah, so I made that little thing. It's cute. Random football card. I actually have a whole bunch of football cards that somebody gave me a long time ago. None of them are worth anything, or at least not that I can tell. They're all random players that aren't like super famous or not famous enough for me to know who they are, even though I know nothing about football. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I just put it in there. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that actually is it. So yeah, that's my desk. So when you see them in videos, that's what all this mess, it probably all blends together when you're trying to focus on whatever I'm putting on. So it's probably not the best thing for displaying customizations or artwork and stuff that I do. But yeah, that's my desk. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, the number one rule of life is don't die. Toodles.
I love him and he loves me, the Bobby Bobbers. He's such a handsome little boy, the Bobby Bobbers.